I forgot everything I was going to talk about because I don't remember anything from what I said yesterday. Do you remember anything I said yesterday?
Yeah.
Something about Islam or something?
Yeah.
Something religious. What was
How
it?
you shouldn't, how some people make you feel bad for things that Allah doesn't want you to feel bad.
Good.
So, you have anything to say about that?
You dropped it, Mustafa. That was solid. That was solid.
That's pretty much like everything.
That was one part.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was another part. So people can't make you feel bad for what Allah doesn't make you feel bad about. You can only seek forgiveness of Allah. So don't apologize for something Allah doesn't want you to apologize for. That's great.
Yeah, but what was it? Hold on, I can't forget. I can't remember. Hold on.
Okay, so you can't feel bad about that, but what should you feel bad about?
Oh, for the things that you've done to other people, you should first of all apologize to Allah before you do that, because you may have upset Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then apologize to that person, because that person comes second.
Yeah. When you cheat on a test.
Or something like that.
If you cheat on a test. I don't do that.
Oh, yeah, when, not if not when. Yeah. So part of that also, the opposite side, before we carry on, is, people can make you feel bad about something Allah doesn't want you to feel bad about. But sometimes you might say, I don't have to feel bad about that. When you should. There are some things that I should feel bad about. That doesn't mean that I become hopeless or Allah's going to throw me in hell or He doesn't love me. No, it's not like that. But actually, guilt is an important emotion only when you use it properly. Now, if you don't use guilt properly, then it becomes a really depressing thing. Like you start feeling like you're a terrible person, like you're worthless, like you just can't do any good, and you just have all these negative thoughts about yourself. But guilt towards Allah is a beautiful thing, meaning, Ya Allah, I know I messed up. Ya Allah, I know I made a mistake. And I know I made this mistake before, but I'm going to try my best to not do this again. And I'm promising you that I'll try and do better. Ya Allah, help me. And I'm embarrassed before you. And I would rather be embarrassed before you now than be humiliated before you on Judgment Day. Ya Allah, I come before you now, so I don't have to come before you on Judgment Day like this. Right? Because if we, feeling embarrassed is a negative emotion. It's a bad emotion. But part of it is necessary for us to fix ourselves.
Yeah.
If a lot of times people just say, you should feel good about yourself. You should feel good about yourself. Yeah, you should feel good about yourself. But if that's all you feel about yourself, then there's nothing to fix.
Yeah.
Right? And if you only feel bad about yourself, then you just become hopeless. Right? Then you're like all bad. There's nothing good about you because you're just a pile of bad.
Yeah.
Right? So those are the two extremes. And what shaitan does is he tricks you and me, by making us either feel like there's nothing wrong with us, there's nothing you should be apologizing for, you should be proud of yourself. Or if you say no, oh, well, I guess you're just not good at anything, right? You're just a terrible person, right? And then you just fall into complete negativity. Those are the two, both of those are shaitan. On the one hand, shaitan's arrogant, which means he can't accept his fault. On the other hand, shaitan says he's cursed, he's going to go to hell anyway, so what does it matter? Right? So he's hopeless at the same time. And he wants these two emotions for you all the time. Either this one or this one, this one or this one. So this, astaghfirullah, I seek Allah's forgiveness, I seek Allah's forgiveness, I seek Allah's forgiveness. La ilaha illa huwa. No one's to be worshipped or obeyed except He. Al-Hayy al-Qiyum. That's what we say next, right?
Yeah.
So say it from the beginning. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah alladhi la ilaha illa huwa al-Hayy al-Qayyum. وأتوب إليه. Right? So that الحي القيوم وأتوب إليه, briefly I'll tell you about today. الحي القيوم are two names of Allah. They come at the end of Ayatul Kursi too, right? Al-Hayy means the living. It also teaches us that Allah is not only the one truly alive, that all life comes from Him. Life wouldn't exist without Him. He's the source of all life. And that name of Allah teaches us many things, but one thing I want you to think about is that means I owe my life, how I live, what I do with it, what my priority should be. I've handed that over to Allah when I say Al-Hayy. Because I wouldn't have been breathing had it not been for Him. I wouldn't have been turned into a living, breathing human being inside the belly of my mom had it not been for Allah being Al-Hayy. Because He's the life itself, and He breathes life into us. then it's not just that we're alive, but we're actually maintained. Our bones are maintained, our tongue is maintained, the fluid in our eyes is maintained so we can blink. You know, some people have eye surgery, their eyes become dry, and it's excruciating for them to blink. They have to keep putting fluid in their eye. Allah is automatically flooding our eyes with fluid, right? Our brains are functioning, no parts of it shut down. You know, our spine is functioning, the organs in our body are being maintained. You know, our livelihood, you know, your parents' income is being maintained, your home is being maintained, the walls in your house are being maintained. When it freezes too much in Texas, then they ask you to put the faucet on a little bit. I don't know if you ever heard that. You have to put the water on just a little bit warm because the pipes could freeze over and burst. It happens in New York all the time. You have to be careful with the pipes because they can freeze and burst, right? That's building maintenance, right? But actually our maintenance constantly, who's taking care of us, is Allah. And this name is really important in what we're saying. Every time we say Allah, one of Allah's names, it's important in the what we were saying before then. When we are thinking about ourselves and other people, and thinking about, well, I got to do this to take care of myself. I got to do that to take care of myself. I got to make this one happy to take care of myself. I better not make that one happy to take care, unhappy to take care of myself. And you're thinking about your life in connection with everything else and everyone else. But I'm not thinking about my life in connection with Allah. I forget the fact that my life did not come from anyone, and my life is not being maintained by anyone. It's being maintained by Him. So there's this morning focus back on Allah that helps a person not get distracted by what they really should be doing with themselves throughout the day. And so astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah alladhi la ilaha illa huwa. And finally, the last part is wa'atubu ilayhi. Atubu ilayhi means I turn back towards Him. Makes sense, right? After everything we just said, I turn back towards Him means I turn back towards Him in repentance, meaning I'm sorry for what I've done wrong, and I promise Him I won't do it again. And it's also beautiful in that it means that my focus is Him. Like I'm turning back towards Him so that, you know, like I'll give you the last analogy for the day. Sometimes before COVID, when you were in school, does it ever happen that the teacher leaves the classroom? Okay. When the teacher leaves the classroom, all the kids in class behave a certain way. It's been happening for tens of thousands of years. Okay? They all behave a certain way. But when one of them says, "He's coming!" Okay? Or "Principal's coming!" Or there's a you know, back in the day they had a horn to announce the arrival of the enemy, like you know, one of the students is the lookout. Right? So, let us know when he's coming. And so when he's coming, what happens to all the students?
The tone changes.
The tone changes, the body language changes, maybe they come back in their seat, right? And then after the teacher's in the class, then if they want to talk to somebody or look back, what do they check first?
If the teacher's looking at them.
And they keep checking back, right? Because it's a security risk. Right? The idea when you say I turn back towards Allah is that every time you're about to do something, you're like, Allah, oh yeah, okay. Okay. But with the teacher, you're hoping that he's looking that way so you can get away with it. But with Allah, every time you turn back towards Him, are you ever going to find Him distracted from you that He can get away with it? No. So every time you turn back to Allah, you're like, oh, okay, I can't do that. Oh, he's watching. Oh, he's still watching. Oh, he still doesn't like it. You see what I'm saying? So Wa'atubu Ilayhi is really awesome because when we turn back towards Allah, our focus returns back to Allah and we're mindful of His presence in the stuff that we're doing. So that's enough for today. Let's gear up and torture ourselves.